Welcome to game 3 of the draft. This time I'm going first, and I will open with a Bright Tusk Sower. Okay. My opponent puts out 2 solid Aloyan creatures. Again, I'm happy to level up my Shardplate Delver. Need to figure out what to do for my second play. Avoid putting the Shardplate Delver into the middle lane. I don't want to run into a Nexus Pilot. Too early in the player level to get any value out of my Runegrove Guardian. There's no way that he can survive long enough to use his ability. One possibility would be to play a after combat Fellwalker into the lane opposite the Sparkbot. I think what I'm going to do is, though, take the Scorpion against his Steel Shaper. Zombie Infantry, and Zombie Infantry and Charnel Titans are both. Charnel Titan in particular is a really strong card against my deck because I often have creatures like Seedling or Fellwalker sitting around. Opponent can get a lot of value out of a Charnel Titan. Let's see. So I think run combat. I think I'm going to level up the Grimgaunt Spectre. I think I'm going to toss him in front of the Charnel Titan. Good. Got my Flesh Fiend. I think that in retrospect, this deck is a little bit short on win conditions. Flesh Fiend is one potential late-game win condition. Lyria is another. But I think I'm a little short on really powerful late-game creatures for this deck. And so, as a result, I'm very, very happy to draw the Flesh Fiend. Zombie Infantry, Flesh Fiend. Perhaps I should have played those in the other lanes. Yeah, actually, I probably should have done Flesh Fiend opposite his general. It likely won't matter, but that was probably a minor error. Excellent. Let's see. I think, I think I'm going to take the damage from the Metamind Adept and play Scorpion Deep Branch. Try to establish some board position here. Hope he does not have a Epidemic. Interesting decision for him who to use his Pulse Mage on. Pulse Mage now has the activated ability where it gives -4 attack to target creature. Yeah, so he needed to decide whether or not to hit my zombie infantry, hit my scavenger scorpion, hit the deep branch prowler, and save his. Oh, and there's his charnel titan again. Yeah, the titan is just a major problem for this deck. So, what to do here? I think I'm not getting a lot of value from the sower, so let's do this. Actually, this could be a lot worse. Probably I'm using my Fellwalker to block his Titan. But he got a very nice draw there. Solid vanilla creatures like Zombie Infantry and Sparkbot are a lot more impactful in draft than they are in constructed. So what I'd like to do here is I'd like to try to use my Grimgaunt Spectre to trade for both his Zombie Infantry and his Sparkbot, if he will let me do that. So in this case, I could have blocked either the Sparkbot or the Zombie Infantry with my Grimgaunt Spectre. I chose the Sparkbot because the Sparkbot is a little bit harder to get rid of. With only 2 health, the Zombie Infantry falls to like a Banshee or a Fellwalker in case he takes out my Grimgaunt Spectre with his Sparkbot. He could do something like an Epidemic here or a Ghastly Touch or something on that order in order to get rid of my Spectre. And so if my Spectre is only going to kill one out of the 2 creatures, I want it to be the harder one to deal with. Interesting. So I could move my Spectre and complete the 2-for-1 trade against his Zombie Infantry, or I could take out his Zithian Hulk with my Spectre and kill the infantry with some other card. I think actually that looks like a good plan. We'll do this. Close game. Actually, very close game. Unfortunately, when I look at my deck, I don't have a lot of scary level 3 cards that I have the potential of drawing. My Flesh Fiend 3 is the strongest thing in my deck right now. But I'm also sitting with like a Fellwalker 3, which is not particularly scary, Grimgaunt Spectre 3, which is a bit undersized, so I'm not feeling great about my deck composition right now, although obviously I'm in a strong position on the board. Let us use Strength in Numbers. And the question is whether to strengthen numbers like the Deathweaver or the Delver. I think I'm going to do the Deathweaver, give myself 2 threats, get some damage through. And there's the Flesh Fiend that I needed. Yeah. Oh, excellent. This is so. I'll play out the Flesh Fiend. against his Steel Shaper, the strength in numbers, and it looks like I'm going to pull this off. Those were some fortunate draws at the beginning of my player rank 3, I think. I think the game was really fairly close coming out of player rank 2. But yeah, and this is why Flesh Fiend can easily turn into a win condition. A number of decks, including this one, that just have trouble dealing with a Flesh Fiend. So I get Death Weaver, gives me a 12/12 left over. This should be good shape. Let's toss out the Scorpion. Well, thank you so much for joining me for my first of my draft videos. I think that overall I too won this draft. Certainly can't complain. Things generally went fairly well. Got some value from the Lyria. Flesh Fiend was certainly a star of several games. On the other hand, I think that this deck was short on win conditions, and that made it less consistent than I would have liked. And so, in particular, more vulnerable to having a poor set of leveled up cards going into a player rank 3. And I didn't have the aggressive power to win early. So obviously you don't need a lot of late game win conditions if you're playing a sufficiently aggressive deck. This deck wasn't quite strong enough to win during the early game. It was really a deck that wanted to get some damage through in the middle of the game and then put it away late. And to do that, it would have been nice to have one or two more scary late game creatures. And I think that hurt me in the second matchup. But in any case, that was draft number 1, and I hope you all found it interesting. Thank you.